The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
Welcome to Sephora.
I'm looking for a perfume that's not too perfumey.
I got you.
Serum moisturizer or moisturizer serum.
Let's get into layering.
My concealer is making me look worse.
Sounds like the wrong shade. Let's get you matched.
There's only one store that really gets what you're going for. Get beauty from people who get beauty. Only at Sephora.
Hi, Let's get you a basket.
More rewards, more savings. With American Express Business Gold, earn up to $395 back in annual statement credits on eligible purchases at select shipping, food delivery, and retail subscription merchants, including the $155 Walmart Plus monthly membership credit and $240 flexible business credit. Enjoy the benefits of membership with the Amex Business Gold Card. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
Welcome back to the Skating Penguin Network, everyone. A welcome night here at the Skating Penguin Network as we bring back the recap show. And this one, game 1 of the 2025-26 season. The Penguins open in New York City against the Rangers. But as always, before we get to the nitty-gritty, I am joined by Snail in Seattle. Snail, how are things in your neck of the woods? I do know that while this was going on, the Seattle Mariners pulled within 1 win of going back to the ALCS. So a big moment out there in Seattle. But as always, how are things just in general out that way?
Man, Robbie, it was a great day out here. I mean, the sun was shining, a good, crisp, sunny fall day. Hockey, it's a hockey night. League wide for the first time. We had 3 games on the docket today.
Yep.
I as I shared with you through text message, I thought it was an appropriate day to break out the old fries and gravy for supper.
Yeah.
Had some fries and gravy. It's just, Canada, they really nailed that, giving, gravy as a condiment for French fries. I mean, that's something that we got to just adopt here. So it's not.
I mean, I don't know about out there, but you can get gravy on fries here. I don't know if that's
really.
Yeah, you can in some restaurants. Yeah, it's it can be a dressing, I guess you could say, for fries. You can get fries, just plain fries. You can get fries with cheese, fries with gravy. They don't do the curds, so we can't get like true poutine. I mean, I guess they're probably. I mean, you could do that at home pretty easily. Just cook up some fries, some gravy, and buy cheese curds. You can get cheese curds about anywhere.
Yeah.
But no, Snail did have the fries and gravy. He celebrated the NHL season in true, I guess we'll call it Canadian fashion, I guess.
Canadian fashion. Out here, you'd have to go north of the border to get that. I will say that the bar down the street from my house currently, I've told you about it before, Robbie. They're like one of the only bars that offer they make a smoked brisket poutine, which
that just sounds heavenly. That just, I mean, that just sounds amazing.
I mean, this is just a little dive bar called the Moose, and they offer a smoked brisket, a true poutine with Beecher's cheese curds, a little green onion mixed in there, and you can even get little bacon bits toppings. Like, come on, man! Like that's
that's a meal. That's a full meal in itself.
That's a heavy meal, but
that would be I'm gonna eat and go sit on my couch and watch hockey the rest of the night.
I'm not leaving the couch.
I'm not doing anything mobile.
No.
Yes.
So that's how I started out my night, my evening out here. Again, beautiful day in the Pacific Northwest. Not a huge baseball guy, but the Mariners did, after a rain delay, they did defeat the Kitty Cats, as I like to call them, the Detroit Tigers. They're within one win, and yeah, man. So flying kind of high out here. How is it out there? Are you guys getting hit with that heat wave?
So the heat wave dissipated yesterday. We got the cold front that's bringing in the fall weather. It has arrived, and it's been all rain all. It literally has rained all day here.
Okay.
But starting tomorrow, we're supposed to be pure fall weather, sunshine, no kind of precipitation in the forecast. Starting tomorrow, so definitely looking forward to that because we had a couple 80-degree days out here.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, very. But
that's the last thing you want after you've just grinded through a full summer and you're in October and then you get hit with t-shirt and short weather, like extra deodorant, like that whole deal. Not cool. But sounds like we're all about to, really succumb to fall weather. Old man winter is making his descent from the north slowly but surely.
Yep.
And with that, Penguins hockey is back, Robbie, and oh my God, did this game not disappoint?
It did not, yeah.
Before we really get into the scoring and all that, I guess, can you just kind of set the table for us? Like, where was your head at going into this game? The expectations for the Penguins. You can listen to hockey media out there. You can listen to the Kiprios, the Brian Hayes, the PK Subban's out there. Everyone out there covering hockey. They all seem to think that they really have their finger on the pulse of this Penguins roster. But, as Penguins fans and, as members of the media like ourselves, Robbie, where were you at kind of coming into this game? Obviously playing Sullivan. They're in New York, starting the season on the road, not too far from home. Set the table for us.
So as for the Penguins, if we're looking at like a season-long kind of mapping it out, like I was kind of all over the map. Like looking at this roster, like the 23-man roster they announced, and that's I'm counting Rust and McGroarty and those guys in this equation as well. Like if that roster's healthy, I think they're gonna fight to the death. I don't think they're a bottom 5 team by any means. Again, trades definitely can change a lot. But I just don't see most of the, I'll say prognosticators that really get into the nitty gritty, I will say most of them had the Penguins in that 84 to 88 point range, which is definitely playoff bubble to the very end, depending on how things shake out. That's within 4, 5, 6 points potentially of a playoff spot. I saw one that had the Penguins at like 74 points. That's a bad hockey team. I just don't think that this team is that bad. And tonight in New York, like coming into the game, I knew there was going to be like opening night is always going to be an emotional, like everybody's revved up. You've had training camps, preseason games. They've been like, you have all this, you're all healthy for the most part. You're healthy. You have all this fresh energy from the off season. And I'm not sold on the Rangers even a little bit. I thought the Rangers might win this game just for the sake of it's in New York. The Penguins have been iffy in Madison Square Garden.
They had a lot to get up for today too. The centennial year and Sullivan.
Yeah, they had a lot. I mean, again, the expectations in New York are still high. Like the expectations are still high. You still have big names. You still have a guy like Shesterkin in goal. You have, a guy that we've had him as head coach for the past 10 years, and we both agreed, even though that it was time to move on, like nothing, Mike Sullivan's still a great coach. Like there's nothing that has happened in the last few years in Pittsburgh takes away from him as a coach. It was just time for a change. And I didn't really know what to expect of this game specifically, but I was excited. And not just because hockey's back. Like, yeah, I'm excited because of hockey's back. The Penguins could have fielded an AHL team, and I would have been like, sweet, hockey's back. But even if they're not great, like seeing Brunnicke and Kindle on the ice in the lineup, Ville Koivunen, knowing McGroarty's going to be back, and then you still see like all the hype around Letang, Crosby, Malkin still being there. And then the real, I'll say, shocker, Artur Shilovs was named the opening night starter. That was, to me, you remember a few years ago, or this is 2 seasons ago now, where a meaningless last game of the season, Alex Nedeljkovic got the start over Tristan Jarry. And I took that as like okay, that's like a big signal of where we're going here. And it didn't turn out maybe like we thought. But I got no indication at all this preseason that Shilovs was going to be the opening night starter. I knew he was going to be on the roster. I just thought it was Tristan Jarry and we were going to roll with that. And then it comes out today that Shilovs is getting the start. And now maybe we find out that Jarry had a little bit of a cold or something. But all indications are that Dan Muse said Artur Shilovs is the goalie tonight, and he delivered.
I mean, yeah, there was. I think that we're so used to Jarry just kind of being the guy, the default guy.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but from the outlets that I cover, I never saw any like, you know, Shilovs is wowing. A lot of the chatter was around Sergei Murashov, and he got sent down to the AHL. And so with that move, you just assume, right? Jarry's probably going to be your guy. And then, I mean, opening night, and, you know, injuries, I think, do factor into this. You know, you've got Brian Rust out. You've got, who's the other injury? McGroarty. He's been out for a while, though.
Jarry and Hayes are out, too.
And then you have Kindle, Brunicky, and Shilovs all starting. And, you know, I don't know about you, maybe I'm not trying to think too hard about it. Like, this is the first game of the season. It's a big deal. But, I mean, it's kind of Muse's first, like, statement, kind of being like, these are the guys that I was impressed with during my first tenure as head coach, and this is the team I'm rolling with. And, I mean, they started the game with Sidney Crosby, Malkin, and Kindle on a line. And I thought that was kind of a statement by Muse saying, like, you know, we're not here for tanking for McKenna. Like, I'm rolling out the best. And he was scrambling lines all game, but it was working. I mean, but yeah, a lot of new bodies on this opening roster, and they played an ace hockey game.
Yeah, I mean, again, we didn't even mention the Penguins come out in this game. They win 3-0. And again, 2 of those goals we'll get to in a second were empty netters, but they didn't do anything over their heads. They played a very tight game. They played a very adept game. They didn't make many mistakes at all. They were very responsible with the puck. Even like we have harped on Letang and Carlson and their defense, both of those guys played very, very good hockey games tonight. And if they're here all year playing even 80% of that kind of hockey, the Penguins are going to be a lot better than I think people imagine. Like, that was, they played much better hockey than for long stretches last year.
You know, I was really trying hard not to, but really analyzing the Rangers as well, because, you know, I feel like from watching this team, we really got to know kind of the bad side of the Penguins, and maybe the I always called it the chaos that was bred from Sullivan's system. And it was always this head scratcher. Like, it always looked like maybe some of the players were thinking too much. Like, you could visibly see Letang and Carlson, like, thinking their way up the ice. There wasn't a lot of free-flowing instinctual hockey, which ironically was Sullivan's mantra, was playing with instincts since the day he got here a long time ago now. But I was watching.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, what?
It all felt very structured. It felt like everybody did their job. Obviously you're gonna
nothing too hard. Simplify. You hear that so much in sports in general. Just simplify everything. Well, when you're in a game and you've got, you know, how many thousands of fans watching you and the pressure's on to get on the board first, whatever. I mean, simple becomes very difficult. And I feel like at times I was watching the Rangers to see if there was any of that happening on their bench because the Penguins seem so cool, calm, and collected. The right play was made more often than not. And, in a game like hockey where simple can become very difficult very quickly, the Penguins never seemed in a panic. Like, how many times last year, and we'll reference this all year, how many times last year did you see this behavior? Like, we're going to be referencing that a lot. But, for the first game of the season, let's get this out of the way. How many times last season was there a late, 30 seconds on the clock? The other team finds a way to just push through the Penguins and score a goal. There was never that panic, like towards when it got tight, when it got stressful. There was just not a lot of that. And part of me, as the season goes on, Robbie, we'll obviously find, we'll touch on this a lot more. But there's a lot of players on here that I like to say just don't have that stink on them from the last regime. Like the Brunicky and the Kindles and the Shelovs, like those guys, they haven't been a part of that struggle. Brazeau, Mantha missed all last year with an ACL in Calgary, almost all last year. Brazeau, he's getting a look on the second line with Geno Malkin. Like, come on now. Like, these guys are playing with Hall of Famers. There could be a lot to get kind of, they could be clenching out there kind of stiff, but it just seemed that it was free flowing and fun, and maybe not having a ton of expectations on them this year will bode well for them. We got a lot of hockey left in the season, but man, what a great game that was to watch. And a lot of those habits in the first game. I mean, there was a Rangers game, was it a year ago, that the bad habits was all that we saw? Was that last season?
I think that was the season opener last year. They scored in the first goal of the game. And that was just kind of felt like that was a microcosm of the entire season. They got ran out of the building. Yeah, we kind of had the running joke of this is the worst game of the year, and then it got replaced a couple of different times as the season went along. But I felt like you mentioned about if they have a close lead in the third period, they would have that breakdown, and the other team would score. I didn't feel like, obviously you're only when you're only up 1-0, it's only a one-shot game. A freak goal can go in, whatever. But I never really got the feeling tonight that complete that brain lapse was going to come in and the dumbest thing was going to happen. Like, if they score a fluky goal on a good passing or bounce it off someone or a good passing play they set up, hey, that's how the hockey played. Yeah. But it never felt like there was going to be that complete defensive breakdown that you're just going to sit there and look at you like, and just shake your head. Like, how did that even, like, there's guys all over the ice and nobody's in the right position. Yeah. And the goalie is just left out to dry. It never felt like that moment was coming. And thankfully it didn't. They hold on to that 1-0 lead, which we'll get into that now, I guess. Early, it took a while. I mean, late in the first period is when the scoring gets started here. Justin Brazeau, the big body new guy that we thought was going to be a grinder, bottom six grinder, but due to some injuries, he gets pushed up the roster here a little bit. And Evgeny Malkin, a nice face-off play, and then Brazeau, little forehand backhand past Igor Shesterkin to make it 1-0 with about 30 seconds left in the first period. And that's the way the game remained until 17:48 of the third period. Justin Brazeau again gets free on a kind of breakaway. The Rangers are pushing for a tying goal. He gets away. He buries an empty netter. His second of the year. And then about 20 seconds later, Blake Lizotte adds a second empty netter to get on to really put this one on ice, make it 3-0, and that's how it ended. But yeah, but again, they actually were aggressive there with the empty net. They got a nice breakout, and they get two empty netters to put it away. You can breathe easy for the last 2 minutes rather than having to clench like we've had in the past. But no, I mean, a very methodical. They shut that game down. They played everything very responsible. And yeah, you don't want to overreact to game 1 of 82. Sure. But the feeling, the difference in feeling between this year and last year is completely different. Like, you feel again, it was only one game last year, but like, it just felt like something was going to come apart at some point last year in every game. And this game, it just felt like they were making the smart decisions, making the easy play, getting the puck out, taking away shot lanes, taking away passing lanes, and just making plays that you need to make in a tight game like that to see it out. And then you're rewarded with a couple empty netters. So, no, overall, there's not much in this game that there's not much you can be disappointed about. I mean, the expectations are so low that a game like this is going to feel good, and who knows where it leads. I mean, I don't know. They have the Islanders on Thursday and then the Rangers again on Saturday. So they're going to get a good look at these New York teams here early on in the season before heading out west. But I mean, game one, it's a 3-0 win in New York, in the Big Apple, in Madison Square Garden, against your former head coach, with your new head coach behind the bench. And I'm sure he's going to feel better getting that first win out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure the Penguins are going to be very happy to get that first win out of the way. And you're always going to feel better after a win. And I think that's the big takeaway here is a good, sound game. They played well, and it's a W in the books. If you're going to be a bubble team, we don't know, obviously, but that's a game that maybe at the end of the season comes back and pays off big dividends come March and April.
Finish training for the day? Time to fight post-workout fatigue with Core Power Protein Shakes. They're packed with 26 grams of high-quality protein to build muscle and electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to help your body replenish, rebuild, and repair post-workout so you can power on to the next one. Champion your recovery with Core Power. Visit corepower.com to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Purina believes no one should have to make the impossible choice between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Through the Purple Leash Project, Purina is helping create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
Big news. Sephora is now on Uber Eats. So if you find yourself facing a beauty emergency, like needing a last-minute gift, or you're just out of your favorite mascara, again, don't panic. We got you. Order now and get $10 off on Sephora orders of $50 or more on the Uber Eats app. Order now. Offer ends October 30th. One order per customer. Additional terms apply. See app for availability. Delivery fees may apply.
Yeah, it's of course, and like just a little chip of confidence to start the year off for some of these guys. Like, I talked about Anthony Mantha, who, he can score. I think earlier on, I like to compare him to kind of like an Eric Fair type of player, big body, not quite a power forward, but like a big body that can score, middle six guy. Mantha is one of those guys, like I said, missed most of last season with an ACL. I mean, Mantha got a lot of touches tonight. Like, he had the puck on his stick quite a bit, and he's working with Brazeau, who's another big body right shot, and then he's got Malkin, who Malkin was flying tonight. Malkin's, it feels like you don't know if this is his swan song season. He hasn't given us an indicator that's what it is. But a little confidence for a guy like Anthony Mantha was my point.
Yeah.
Ben Kindle, Brunicky is fearless. I mean, that guy has he's got some of that Carlson Letang DNA in him. That guy, he took some thumps tonight too, but it shows his fearlessness. He jumps up in the play. He's vocal out there. He's got a good shot. He's got good poise. For him to go out there and get a taste of the NHL in his young career, Ben Kindle as well, and you get a dub. You do the right things and you get the dub. I mean, game 2 is going to come. You're going to even just have a little more confidence going to playing the Islanders now. Definitely a different type of team than the Rangers, but Yeah, those little chips of confidence, man, for a young group and kind of a new group like this are going to be, you're going to see it pay off, I think, game after game. And yeah, when you get late into the season, like you said, it's game 1 of 82. Let's not overreact. But man, for some of these young and new guys to reflect on when the season gets into the dog days of it and grind mode, it's like, yeah, little things like that. You hard work, playing right pays off. You cling on to that as the season goes on. So just, yeah, a great game, a great win, and happy to see some new faces on the scoreboard with a guy like Brazeau, like we talked about.
Yeah, I mean, when he was signed, I don't think any of us would have picked him to be the opening goal scorer for the Penguins this year. But hey, he gets an opportunity on that second line and takes advantage of it. Takes Malkin makes a good play to get him the puck, and then in tight, like those big guys don't necessarily always have the soft mitts, especially that tight. He goes forehand, backhand, and goes over the shoulder of Shesterkin, and that was really all the Penguins needed in this game, because on the other end, like we said, the surprise starter, Artur Shilovs, didn't have to do anything crazy, but 25 of 25. The Rangers did have 2 power plays, which the Penguins successfully killed both. Yeah, I mean, Shilovs was kind of the buy low or low risk, high reward kind of guy. And
dude, that one's a head scratcher to me on what, I mean, Vancouver has Demko and Lankinen. But I mean,
we know that Demko's not. I mean,
he's not. He'll never be 100% again, right? Like we'll just never know, right, with that.
I don't know if he's ever gonna. I don't know. I mean, you hope that he is, because he's a great goaltender.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of health questions with him, and all of a sudden he goes down for an extended period. And okay, you have Lankin in there to back him up, but man alive, you don't want to be stuck with your third goaltender. With little or no or NHL experience, sitting on the bench. But no, I mean, Shilovs comes out, and hey, I mean, you can't really ask for anything better than pitching a shutout in your for the first game of the season, your first start with a new team. That's a heck of a way to make an impression. And I know both of us were high on that trade when they made it, and early returns, all positive.
All positive. Yeah, we're coming off an all positive first game of the season. I just, we'll probably dig into this more as the season goes on. This will be referenced again and again. But, I mean, that Shilovs, we knew him from that spectacular playoff performance he had 2 years ago, coming in cold for Demko, I believe. I think Demko was out.
Yeah, that's the year Demko got hurt.
That was the year he got hurt.
And then Casey DeSmith got hurt.
And then DeSmith got hurt, but Shilovs was in their system, and he balled out in the playoffs, man. He
almost stole a series from the Edmonton Oilers,
who went on to go to the Stanley Cup Finals. So it just shows you. And then last year he lost his confidence, I think, at a certain point. And Vancouver was all over the place though last year, and so it's tough to judge him. But he lost his confidence. Goes down to the American Hockey League, and he wins a Calder Cup, I believe.
Yeah, he was the MVP.
And he wins MVP. He basically the equivalent of a Conn Smythe, but for the Calder. And then we get him for a fourth. And I mean, with our goaltending tandem as it is, well, you've got Blomqvist, Murashov, unproven. They need a little seasoning still. And then you've got Jari, who, I mean, can range from all-star to gas can on any given night.
He can be both in the same game.
He can be both in two different, like within 30 seconds. So
you can Jekyll and Hyde at any moment.
Jekyll and Hyde. That's what number 35. Someone should get a 35 jersey that just says Jekyll-Hyde.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Shilovs comes in, and I mean, at one point, Robbie, we talked about it. Like, is he now their best goaltending prospect in the system? Like, I mean,
yeah, I mean, after that performance, I don't know when you no longer are a prospect, but him and Herman Murashov are, I think, neck and neck. I mean, nothing really to hate from that performance tonight. He goes out, pitches a shutout in game one, after what we did not expect him to be starting this game, but gets the job done. Very solid performance. I mean, I'm happy with it. I think he is, if he can find that confidence that he had in the playoffs 2 years ago, and if he can carry over that form from last year's Calder Cup playoffs, I think you cross your fingers, knock on wood, no guarantees, but maybe he's the guy that is a long-term part of this Penguins team, a part of this next era.
I want to talk to you about this other prospect, Ben Kindle, dude. Like, did this guy look like he was 18 and playing his first NHL game?
No, Kindle, I mean, I expected him to be good. I expect, like, he's been good all training camp, all preseason. Dude looks like he's been in the NHL for a couple years now.
He does.
Everything he does, the brain is just at a pro level. Very, very smart player. But I every time he's on the ice, I'm just impressed. I'm just impressed more and more. And credit Kyle Dubas and Dan Muse for, saying that, listen, the kids earned it. The kids earned the shot.
He's earned it.
And you go and you see what he does tonight. He just looks like a dude that belongs. That's all I can really say about it. He just looks like a guy that some guys just built like that. Some guys just have that gene, and he played tonight like a guy that just belongs. That's all I can really say about it.
He does. I was so impressed with Ben Kindle because, like the outlets on Twitter and whatever else, they talk about Ben Kindle. Yeah, his boots are a little slow. He's good. He's a really good player, but like, he's not. His skating isn't where it needs to be. And I thought tonight, like, and granted, I mean, the adrenaline's going there. I don't want to say they sheltered him because I don't think they really did, but I just felt that every position he was in, he was making the right play. He never looked out of place. He's like Brunicky. I felt like he was very fearless. I mean, there was a couple plays that he was going out there, and I saw Rempe in that. They have this other massive dude out there on the fourth line, I think, and I'm just like, oh boy, like careful, head up when those guys are out there. And I don't know. I don't want to get too ahead of myself here, but for his first NHL game and for the first game of the season, I mean, that guy looks like a hell of a player. He's 18 years old. They've got 9 games, and at this point, Robbie, I mean, with where the Penguins are at and with the salary cap, like, who cares if they burn a year off the entry? Like, oh God, you're gonna owe him his money sooner. Like, that's a good decision to have to make with a player like that. That's a great
decision to have. If you're in a position where you have to sit down and say, listen, it's going to cost us a few extra million in 2 seasons, but he gets this experience now, it's an easy choice for me, I think. Yeah, he's just – there's – like you mentioned about the skating, the foot speed – and stuff like that. There's so much you can make up for when you have a hockey IQ like he has.
Oh, yeah.
And on top of that, he's a playmaker. He can dish the puck. He can shoot the puck. He makes smart plays. He just seems to have that whole package. And I don't know what was discussed leading up to him being selected because it kind of came out of the blue. But the kid he sees the game a little bit different than everyone else seems to. And if it comes, we have 8 more games. Like, they have an 8-game cushion yet. So it'll be interesting to see what all transpires, but early returns from not only this game, but training camp in the preseason, this kid might have it.
He just looks right out there too. He does. He's got that 81 number. He's noticeable every time he's out there. He's kind of just got this. He's an undersized guy, but in this day and age, that doesn't really matter all that much as it used to. And man, I just got to say, like, that dude, he looks right out there. That 81, he's flying around, right shot. I don't remember if it was you that said this or if you were quoting somebody that was their scouting report, but did someone compare him to Braden Point?
So I remember somebody said that it'd be great if not Kessel. I'm now thinking about
now you got 81 on the mind.
Yeah, if Kindle, he would project somewhere between Matt Barzal and Braden Point, and like that's exactly what all the charts kind of say. He's right in that area. Which if that's where he ends up, then banger. That's a home run pick, because we know that Barzal and Braden Point are both great players. That would be very tough to be mad about that. And like you said, he just looks like he belongs. Like, he did not look out of place. It was funny when he was wearing 81. I think it was one of the first preseason games. The announcer, it wasn't a Penguins announcer, it was whoever the other team was. He said, "There's Ben Kindle wearing 81 by Phil Kessel," and literally like 3 seconds later, he scored on a Kessel. He got through the defense, puck got to his stick, and he just fired it home. It was very good timing.
Kessel wrister.
Yeah. But he just looks like he belongs. He's out there. He does not look out of place. Okay, maybe he's a little small, but we can work on that. That will come with age. He'll put on more weight. The Penguins, I'm sure, have been, since they drafted him, have had him on a very intense workout and nutrition plan. But early returns, love what I saw from Kindle. Brunnicke, you mentioned it, fearless. Dude's fearless. A couple little rookie moments, but he's playing a much harder position as a defenseman against the Rangers. The Rangers are a weird team in my eyes, but again, I mean, you're going up against NHL players. They're professionals just like you are. I thought Brunnicke held his own as well, but Rangers, weird team. Don't know what to expect. I felt the same thing coming out of the night. Don't want to jump to too many conclusions, but man, I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of the Rangers, even with Mike Sullivan there. They're an older team now, and that window is kind of closing as well. You saw Shesterkin, obviously, but I don't really no real good takeaway from the Rangers tonight, other than like maybe see them being on the wrong side of the bubble when it comes down to it.
Yeah, the Rangers are super weird. I thought that, I don't know, just their lineup tonight. They have Panarin, they've got Zibanejad, who's really had some weird seasons where he's like a 40 goal scorer, but then he kind of disappears in every other facet of the game. Trocheck was a great pickup for them, and Trocheck's a guy that you take on your team any day of the week. Miller, they traded for him last year with the drama out in Vancouver kind of circulating around him, and they make him captain this year for their centennial year. Sullivan comes in. Connor Sheary is on their third line. I didn't think Connor Sheary was still playing professional hockey.
Yeah, he signed a really late PTO, and all of a sudden, I really thought he was done.
He was in Syracuse for a good while, I think.
Yeah, he got waived because he had a contract, a pro contract with Tampa Bay, and then he got waived, and he spent most of last season, I think, in Syracuse, and then I think his contract was even terminated. I don't even think he was necessarily a free agent, a just true free agent.
That's what I thought. I thought he wasn't even playing.
Yeah, he wasn't anywhere until he got that PTO with the Rangers, and then he got a 1-year contract. Maybe doesn't hurt that, again, guy that Sullivan is very familiar with, obviously.
Literally related to now through marriage.
Literally related through marriage, but a guy that was a massive factor in the 2 rings that Sullivan gets to wear around. So there's familiarity there, but Connor Sheary, I thought was most, if anywhere, he'd maybe go overseas. Play, or maybe just try to stick it in the AHL a little bit. But no, he got a contract with the Rangers, and good for Connor. He was.
No hate to Connor Sheary. No, I'm kind of dunking on him, but I don't mean to.
No, it's just he kind of disappeared. He just kind of disappeared, and then all of a sudden, 2 days ago, he signed a contract. It was kind of weird. But Connor Sheary, forever a legend in Pittsburgh.
Sid's the kid sitting in the line.
Yeah, that was Sid and him had some great chemistry back in the 2016, 2017, 2018, back before COVID and stuff. But yeah, Sherry forever a legend in Pittsburgh. But yeah, he, like you said, though, he did kind of just disappear. Like, he went to Buffalo.
Oh, Buffalo, yeah.
And
Back
then he
to
came back to
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, and then he went to Washington.
Yeah, that's right.
And then Tampa, and then he was waived to Syracuse, which is the last I heard of him until like a week ago when they're like, "Oh, hey, Connor Sherry's on a PTO with the New York Rangers." Okay, fair game, Connor.
Yeah, and that just kind of it's super weird. I'll forever a soft spot in my heart for Connor Sherry, but yeah, it was just kind of weird that the lineup. They'll, like you said, they'll always have Shesterkin, their backbone there in net, but I don't know. It's like it'll be interesting to see, like kind of what we talked about when we first came on here was like, a lot of people think that the Penguins are a tank for McKenna like lock, like they're going to be right there with Chicago. But I don't know. You look at you compare the Rangers roster and the Penguins roster. As someone who watches a lot of hockey, Robbie, and someone who like pays attention to the league and the Penguins, I'm like, I mean, whose roster? Like, I don't know. That's what sometimes I don't get it. Is it just this like bias from the last couple of seasons? Like, oh, the Penguins had a 2-time Cup winning coach and they couldn't even make the playoffs with Hall of Famers on their roster. They're a year older and there's a bunch of new guys on the lineup. Like, what is this type of attitude? But then you look at the Rangers and it's like your 1-2 down the middle is JT Miller and then Trocheck, and then you've got Panarin and Zibanejad who can be ghosts defensively. They have their my point is like the Rangers roster is just as weird. Like, I don't know, the league is a little bit more watered down, and I'm not trying to be a jerk when I say that, but there's 2 more teams in the league than there was during those years that the Penguins were successful. That's a lot more positions open. You can't have these stacked lineups like you could maybe back then, or get away with it easier back then. I guess what my point is just like, let's just not pretend that we actually know what these rosters can do when you have a new coach poking the right buttons or fully tanking. I guess like the difference between like a certified playoff roster and then like someone who you think is going to be a bottom feeder, the difference isn't really like it used to be, I don't think.
No, it's you make a great point about the way that, I mean, you expand those two teams. That's an extra roughly 50 players in the league.
Yeah,
that have to fill out that. So you definitely have more of the, and most of those guys that fill, like, you're going to obviously try to go up the ladder a little bit outside of your draft picks and stuff, but you're going to fill in from the bottom. And guys that would be career AHLers would more likely than not fill out some of these rosters in like as players go to Seattle and Vegas and all that. And like now they're talking about maybe 34 teams. I mean, I don't know what like at some point you have to, there's got to be like a cap, or you might as well not have a minor hockey league system. But I mean, obviously you get fresh talent in every year via the draft, but you got guys that maybe would never be in the NHL on a regular basis if it weren't for these 2 additional teams. Like, would Matt Rempe be playing in a 30-team league? I don't know, because like Matt Rempe, okay, at first, he fought every night, but now that like that has gone away, like Matt Rempe doesn't really give you much of anything on the ice. Like, no. He's just a basically to sell jerseys. It feels
he's an anomaly. Like, he's just so big. Like, but I mean, the guy Rempe's an interesting case too, because I mean, how many times did he get suspended last year? I feel like he. Oh man, you have to be able to play hockey still.
Yeah, you got to be on the ice. Like, you got to be able to stay on the ice. Like you're no good being suspended and on the shelf. And if you're not good enough, you're no good up in the booth either. Eating nachos every night.
No.
But yeah, there's definitely more guys that are cracking NHL rosters now than ever. Obviously, you have an extra, like I said, roughly 50-ish players. You have goalies are a little bit different because those are positions. There's only so many goalies, but like more or less, I mean, you have guys that are sneaking onto these rosters. Like Kevin Hayes in a 30-team league, I'd say Kevin Hayes probably not in the NHL anymore.
Probably not. I love the guy, but like
but like Noel Acciari, probably a borderline guy in a 30-team league. But yeah, these expanded rosters are not really expanded rosters. You just have more players in the league.
Yeah. more jobs, which is good.
Which is great. It gives guys more opportunity because, like, I mean, I never heard of Alex Tuck before Vegas came along. Like that guy, and then he exploded on it. It gives guys like Marchessault. Marchessault had a good year in Florida, but became an absolute demon when he went to Vegas. William Karlsson was like, he was okay. He was bottom. So he could score 10, 15 goals, and he really gets an opportunity to flourish out in Vegas, and he has a cup and big contract, and all those guys. Again, it also helps guys flourish that might be in positions where they don't get that opportunity wherever their team was originally. But no, New York, just a weird roster. I don't know if Mike Sullivan can save it. I don't know what their ceiling is. I don't feel like their ceiling is, again, it helps them being in a metro that's not the strongest top to bottom.
Yeah.
But are they good enough to keep up with the Devils and Hurricanes? On paper, I'd say no, unless Shesterkin goes like supernova for like 82 games. I just don't see them being able to compete throughout a 7-game series with the likes of Carolina or the Devils, who I expect to be good too. So,
yeah, they're an interesting case. It'll be interesting to see. Funny note, when we were talking about Rempe, that Rempe, they asked him, I think last year, who's your dream matchup for a tilt? And he said, Milan Lucic. Well, Milan Lucic is back in the NHL now, so you better be careful out there. Rempe is a big guy, gangly. He's not afraid to fight. Milan Lucic is one of those guys that you let him sleep. I think even good fighters back then weren't necessarily hoping to fight Milan Lucic. So whenever they play, that might be a game to check out if there's nothing else on, because you sometimes get what you wish for, and that would be an interesting one to watch.
Yeah, because Lucic won't back down. Lucic won't back down from a tilt if he's challenged, and even at his age, he's going to give you the full everything he has in the tank.
He fights with anger.
Yeah,
which is different.
He just looks like he's mad all the time. Like he just always looks like he's mad. But yeah, I mean, if Rempe wants to fight Lucic, hey, be my guest, man. I'll tune in and watch you get your teeth.
Yeah, just let me know if you're in the lineup, because let me get the popcorn out.
I'll get the popcorn, crack open a cold one, and recline back just to watch that. That's all I'd have to watch. And then once you get your teeth fed to you, I can go and watch another game. But no, I mean, the Penguins, game 1, 3-0 win. Justin Brazeau, pair of goals. Blake Lizotte, who felt like took forever to score a goal last year, gets in his first of the year into an empty netter. Archer Shivas, surprise start, but shutout in game 1 as the Penguins take out the Rangers 3-0. Snail, any other thoughts on this one?
Who starts against the Islanders?
I'm going Shelovs.
Yeah,
I'll go Shelovs, and you got to get Jari starting this first week. I'll go Jari on Saturday, unless Shelovs would pitch another shutout or something.
What if there's is Dan Muse going to be one of those guys that is he running winning lineups back? Like, do you think that's going to be kind of the thing, or is this like a year where it's like, hey, yeah, we won, but like, let's get this guy a look? Kind of exercising that patience with development. Is it?
Man, that's a good question. I think you'd see more of that in like January once the season like hits that halfway point.
Okay.
Here he might try a few different things. Right now with the injuries, there's not much you can change with the actual like forwards and defense. But I could see him being like, okay, we're starting Shelovs this night, like having a goaltending like map out a little bit. Like, okay, we'll give him this, unless somebody goes on an absolute heater that way. But like, I think you give Shelovs game 1 in Pittsburgh and then Jari game 2. But that's just my thinking. Especially with that long road trip coming up next week. That's where I kind of sit with that. But I think overall, not much you can do with the roster right now, but like getting the goaltending, I could see them having like a calendar in pencil of like, here's how we're going to play it out. But if something changes, something changes.
Yeah. I feel like that's everything's in pencil right now.
Yeah, and that's completely fine right now, and that's how it probably should be at this point in the season for about every team. The Penguins are not going to be a team where if they go into a rut, they're going to panic and do something crazy. That's not the situation they're in right now. They're not like if the Rangers would start off like 2-8-1 or something like that, you'd have alarm bells going off everywhere. Or the Penguins, that's not going to be the case. They're going to be much more prudent, much more patient.
100%.
And Dan Muse seems like the kind of guy to do that. So, yeah, fingers crossed that this keeps up. But it's always better to talk about a win. I think we've learned that. We've been doing this for a while now. Always more enjoyable when we're talking about the Penguins winning. And, beating the Rangers is always fun. And you want to beat the Rangers. And they've struggled against division teams the past couple of years, too. That's been a massive Achilles heel that's cost them major points. And to go out on this night on the road, a lot of emotion in that building, to go out and get this win tonight is just cherry on top of everything else. And I'm feeling pretty pumped, feeling pretty good, getting ready for the rest of this week.
Oh yeah, me too, man. Great sports week. I mean, like this is one of those all-time sports week on the calendar where you've got playoff baseball, and the Mariners haven't been in the playoffs much during the duration of my entire lifespan.
Yeah.
There's football on. The hockey season just kicked off, which is what matters the most. I think to me at least, and I could probably speak on your behalf for that too, Robbie. Penguins hockey's back. Fall is rolling in slowly but surely. And we're talking about a dub, so it's a great way to cap off just a Tuesday night in early October.
Yeah, I'm really pumped. The Penguins now. The rest of this week we have the Islanders on Thursday night at the home opener, and then the Rangers are in Pittsburgh on Saturday for another home game. So, but next week it gets a couple late nights out west. But yeah, for right now. 3-0 over the Rangers. Rangers on deck at home to wrap up this week. And Snail, do you have any final thoughts?
I do not. Let's get out of here, and we will be back.
Yeah,
at some point this week. Maybe fire up a mailbag.
I think next week, since they're late nights and we won't have be able to record recaps, we'll get a mailbag in Monday or Tuesday next week before they kick off that.
That sounds good.
That California road trip, but. We have 2 more recaps coming this week. We have the Islanders and Rangers, but if Snail has nothing else, I have nothing else. Penguins 3-0 winners to open the season over the Rangers. For Snail, I'm Robbie. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you guys later this week.